This is music attorney Randy Ojeda. As an attorney, I've helped artists and bands secure hundreds of thousands of dollars in advances, and I've collected even more money in unpaid royalties owed to songwriters and producers. I've negotiated licensing deals, label deals, publishing and management deals, and so much more. And right now, I'm offering a free initial consultation for all artists because I truly believe that all musicians should have access to quality legal services. So find out what my firm can do to help your music career. Head to randyojedalaw.com and book a free consultation now. Welcome to Cigar City Radio. I'm your host, Randy Ojeda, and making the magic happen, Mr. Jason Solanas.
Have you ever thought about why you don't have like a literal case of like they just don't turn into raisins?
No, actually, I never thought about that. Seems like something you have thought about a lot, though.
I have thought about it a lot, especially when I was a teenager and just one after the other. Like, how do after all of that?
Oh, my God.
Our guest on this episode is Tad Denham from Recycled Tunes. Recycled Tunes is a part of Gasparilla Music Foundation.
Shout out to GMF.
Whoop whoop. Their mission is to enrich the lives of underserved children in Tampa Bay by ensuring access to musical instruments. Since 2021, Recycled Tunes has been able to serve over 94 schools, and they've donated more than 2,200 instruments.
That's a lot of instruments.
That's a lot of kids playing instruments, man.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that all in one band?
Yeah, I could. That'd be like the Spinal Tap bass players song with like 100 bass players. Yeah, that'd be amazing.
It smells like Teen Spirit with like a stadium full of people playing it.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet.
No, but that's awesome. Kids are playing music. That's what we want to see.
That's all I need to see, man. For more information on Recycled Tunes and to donate an instrument, head to recycledtunesflorida.com.
And also, I want to give a big shout out to Michelle from GMF for putting us in touch with Tad and, helping us on the road to Gasparilla. So here it is. Recycled Tunes. All right, we're here with Tad Denham from Recycled Tunes. Tad, how you doing today?
I'm great. Thanks. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no, thanks for coming on. So tell me a little bit about Recycled Tunes. What's the deal?
Yeah, so Recycled Tunes is a program of the Gasparilla Music Foundation. The foundation is kind of the overall umbrella that includes the Gasparilla Music Festival that's been going on for a dozen years now, but it also includes kind of our program to give back to the community called Recycled Tunes. Recycled Tunes has been around for now 10 years. And what we do is work with local schools, particularly lower income Title I schools, and try to fill the gap with what the music teachers need in their classrooms. We do that by, just first asking them what their needs are, and then try to fill those gaps with either buying new instruments, or fixing broken instruments. But we also do instrument drives throughout the year and collect instruments from the community. And found that to be very successful. But then, throughout the year, weekly, we get people just find us on the internet and or want to donate instruments, and they reach out to us, and we have them drop off instruments all the time at our shop.
So you do have a shop. So the name Recycled Tunes is pretty literal in the fact that you're taking kind of old instruments, used instruments that people are donating, and are you refurbishing them? What are you doing with them?
That's exactly what we're doing. We're refurbishing those. We certainly request instruments that are gently used and have the potential to be reused, and we'll take a look at them and see what might need to be done. It could be as simple as putting strings on a guitar or a new drum head on drums, but sometimes it's more involved, and we have several partners we work with that repair band instruments, that do a little more technical work on guitars. We work with the violin shop to restring and do repairs on any string instruments we have, violins, cellos, and such. Yeah, so
Wow.
recycle tunes is exactly what we do. We try to recycle them, take them, from a place where they're not being used anymore, and put them in hands of kids who are looking for the opportunity to learn an instrument.
That's incredible. I think oftentimes, some folks take for granted the fact that instruments are available for them. And, that's not always the case for certain schools and, certain children, like you said. So that's great that you actually provide that service.
Sure. Yeah, and there are, as I mentioned, we focus on the more lower income schools that aren't as likely to have a PTA or a band boosters or someone that's there to help provide resources and raise money for them. So that's why we focus on that group of schools and students.
Shout out to my old band teacher, Mrs. Wegman. She was from Russia, and she actually said, I remember once she was really upset because we showed her a video of like, Nirvana or one of these bands smashing their guitars, and she was so upset that somebody would destroy an instrument. She's like, people can, somebody else could use that. And when she grew up in Russia, she didn't have access to a grand piano or something like, some people have. And she really took offense to people breaking their instruments like that, you know.
Yeah, it's I can totally see that, and yeah, you just don't realize the impact that an instrument can have on a kid. Some kids, you know, may play ukulele or play a recorder and may not click with them, but there are other kids that get an instrument in their hand and it could be life changing. And
Yeah.
that's one of the things that I think has been cool about this is the impact that music has on people to inspire them. And some kids get an instrument in their hand and they go on to become a professional musician, or they may go on to be a songwriter, or you never know where they're going to go with it. And I think the important thing though is making sure they have the access and take it where they want it to go.
First off, when did Recycled Tunes start?
We started about 10 years ago. We just actually are in our 10th year now. And as I mentioned, our primary focus has been elementary schools.
Okay.
But I started with the program after retiring from TICO after 35 years. I was looking for some positive way to spend my time and ended up finding my way to Recycled Tunes. And when I started, I realized that we get a lot of band instruments donated, the saxophones, the trumpets, the clarinets, which are not as much a fit in elementary schools around here. So just this year expanded our program to start working with middle schools. So we were working with similar type middle school band programs that are in the Title I lower income schools, and found some success getting instruments in the hands of students that need those.
Oh, that's amazing. I could see that, because I believe when I was in high school, I played saxophone for a year, and I had the opportunity to rent my saxophone at Paragon Music, which I don't think Paragon Music is around anymore. And I think there's a lot of those music stores are probably not around anymore. So is it a situation where people have to buy their instruments now, and then, after they're done with their, school or their program or whatever, then that's why they're donating?
Yeah, that's what we find. That's just, sometimes it's, a parent may say, hey, my child was playing this instrument. They've gone off to college and they're not going to use this guitar anymore, or this flute or whatever it is, they'll bring it in. But we also have people that have held an instrument for 30 or 40 years. They may have played it, when they were in high school, and it just sat under the bed or in the closet for a period of time, and they hear about us, or they finally, decide to look for a new home for it. Maybe they're downsizing. And so there's many different stories that we hear about why instruments make their way to us. But yeah, it's across the board, but they just realize that it's still got some value to it, and still can make music. And so they want to put it in the hands of someone that can use it. I do want to mention also Paragon. They did close their big retail store that most people are familiar with over on Hillsboro, but they are actually still operating, and they're in a smaller location up on Bush now. They are primarily focused on band rentals, band instrument rentals, but they also are kind of they're our go-to repair shop. So when we get an instrument in, that needs a little TLC, some cleaning, some new pads on a sax or something, then we take it there, and they're our go-to shop for that.
Oh, that's amazing, and so glad to hear. Is it? Do you know? Is it still the Ramore family that's
It
involved in
sure
Peg?
is. Yeah. Chip
Oh, okay.
Ramore, Baker, and yeah, and there's a couple of folks that work with him. They do lessons as well, but yeah,
Yeah.
still the same group, and
Oh
they've been
man,
very beneficial and helpful for us in getting our instruments in playable condition.
I'm so glad to hear that. I was good friends with Dick Ramore's son, Mikey, growing up for a
Okay.
while, and we played in bands and stuff together. And you know, I haven't been in touch in a while, but I'm glad to hear that Paragon's still going, because yeah, I think I drove past the Hillsboro location, and it wasn't there anymore. So I was, you know, I figured they'd close their doors, but I'm glad to see they're still serving the area.
They definitely are. Yeah, it's really cool.
That's amazing. So they're one of your key repair shops. What's the
Right.
instrument that you need the most? Like what is the instrument that people are asking for the most to get recycled?
Yeah. In elementary schools, we find need and interest in ukuleles.
Okay.
Um, and hand percussion, kind of like tubanos, drums like that. But they also do request guitars. They like smaller. The elementary schools like smaller scale guitars, like a 3/4 size guitar. But they also have interest in electric instruments. Electric guitars, electric basses. Some of the elementary schools have rock bands that they have formed. So those are pretty good requests that we see in elementary schools. In the middle schools, you know, they're looking for instruments across the board, band instruments across the board, particularly some of the lower instruments like a tuba, baritones,
Mm.
trombones. Aren't as quite available as a flute or trumpet might be, but all those are in demand. From our perspective, is just whatever folks may have that they're not using anymore. If they see that there's a value in passing on, and we'd be happy to take it.
If somebody wanted to donate, where would they go? What's the process look like?
Yeah, they can go to our websites, the kind of the main path, and that's recycledtunesflorida.com. And when they go there, they can find a donate the instrument tab, and they can fill out the information, let us know what they've got, and then we can provide information to them on where to drop it off. Our office is on Cypress Street near downtown Tampa. So many people bring instruments by, but we can also make arrangements if needed to pick an instrument up.
I can imagine if somebody's donating, you know, like a piano or something like that, you'd need to maybe come and pick it up, you know.
Yeah, and just some people, may live far away or have bigger instruments than their car can accommodate. So we'll pick those up. Regarding pianos, that's one of the few things that we typically don't accept.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, and the reason for that is that, as you mentioned, they're kind of difficult to move, but they're also in low demand. And we get requests regularly from people that want to donate pianos, and we typically aren't able to accept those just because low demand, hard to move, and difficult to store, or they're big to store, and there's not much demand for them. I hate doing that, but I have found a few homes for pianos from time to time. So,
Mhm.
it's not always a loss when someone reaches out to us, but too frequently we have to decline taking pianos,
That
unfortunately.
that makes sense. Yeah, but guitars, ukuleles, small instruments, saxophones, you know, you name it, those are all good to go.
Yeah, and drum sets. I mean, we bring in drum sets or snare drums and refurbish those and get them out. We've got several drum sets that are going out to some middle schools in the next few weeks. One thing I'll share with you is our impact on schools last year in Hillsborough County. We worked with 56 schools to provide music instruments, either new or used instruments, or repairs for those schools. And we donated and repaired over 450 instruments to those classrooms.
Wow, 450 instruments. That's like an orchestra.
Yeah, for sure, and then some. Right. Yeah.
Do you only work in Hillsborough County or
Our primary focus is Hillsborough County. Yes,
okay.
that's been our primary focus, and mostly with the Hillsborough County schools. There are some other programs that we've helped support. When requests have come through, we try to do things we can to help put music in kids' hands. So we've done a few things outside of schools. We have someone who's worked with a foster kid home, and was doing a string program with them, and we were able to support them. So there's been a couple of non-school related things, but the vast majority of what I just mentioned was through the local schools.
Amazing. Amazing. And so you mentioned at the beginning of this that this is part of the Gasparilla Music Foundation. So what's the foundation, and how does Recycled Tunes work with that?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, so the foundation is kind of the umbrella organization. When the music festival idea came about, 12, 15, or 14 years ago, they decided to create it as a nonprofit. So the Gasparilla Music Festival itself, when you buy a ticket to the festival, you're supporting Recycled Tunes. So that's kind of one of the key funding sources for Recycled Tunes, is the festival. We're in our 13th year now with the festival. Coming up on February 16th through 18th. We're excited to move from our longtime home in Curtis Hickman Park downtown. We're now relocating to Julian B. Lane Park, which is across the river, a little bit bigger park. We're excited to put that festival on just less than 3 weeks now. We've got a little more space there. We'll have 50 bands playing on 5 stages over 3 days. So we're really excited about that.
Yeah, I'm excited about it too. I mean, I've been to, pretty much every Gasparilla Music Festival. So
Right. Yeah.
I'm excited to see the changes. And yeah, it's been at Curtis Hickson for so long that I almost couldn't imagine it anywhere else. But Julian B. Lane Park is beautiful, so I'm sure it's going to be a great time.
Yeah, it will be. It's a great setting, a little more space for us to kind of spread out a little bit and offer some new things, but also keep the same things that everyone enjoys: the great music, the cool vendors, the great food.
Great food.
Yeah, a lot of things to create a full festival experience for folks.
Yeah. So what is your involvement in the festival?
Well, my involvement typically, I'm the Recycle Tunes guy and run the program, but
Right.
I kind of do a lot of different things. It's kind of all hands on deck when the festival comes around. So I work on right now, working on the Kids Fest area, which is a really cool area that we have on Sunday from 1 to 4, where we'll have a lot of kid focused activities. There'll be some kid oriented DJs playing. There's arts and crafts they'll be able to do, t-shirt tie dyeing, hands-on. We call it an instrument petting zoo. Well, they'll actually be able to come, and we have some of the music teachers we work with are going to come in, and they'll man a space where they'll have different instruments and let kids strum a guitar or put their fingers on a keyboard or pull a bow across the string of a violin. So those are all elements that we focus on for that Sunday. Sunday's typically been kind of a family oriented day.
Yeah.
So we like to have things specific for the kids. Not that they wouldn't enjoy the music overall, but just some really good hands-on stuff that's specifically geared towards kids.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that's so incredible about the festival is that it is family friendly. You can bring your whole family and hang out all day in the park and enjoy music and great
Right.
food, and it's a safe, fun environment for a whole family to go to.
Yep, for sure.
That's
Yep.
amazing. I remember, I think last year I saw DJ Kitty out there from the Rays. He was dancing with kids.
DJ
I mean,
Kidda will be there again this year.
all right. DJ Kitty is the highlight of my festival every year. So,
Right. Yep.
yeah.
Make sure you're there by 1:30 on Sunday.
All right.
DJ Kid.
Yeah.
But we
No.
also have, as a partnership with our schools, we have one of the elementary schools has a drum line. So they're bringing their drum line and their flag corps out, and they'll be, doing a march around the festival grounds on Sunday as well. We have the Tampa Metropolitan Youth Orchestra will be playing on stage. So a lot of kid-focused activities during that day, during Sunday.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to that. And there's great music in general on Sunday too. So good day to be there.
Yep, definitely.
So yeah, I guess people don't really realize that their ticket is going to such a good cause. So I'm glad, we could talk to you today and hear more about what you do, because I think it's important, not only just the mission of Recycled Tunes, but it's important for people to know that, by attending Gasparilla and attending this festival, their money is going somewhere good, you know.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yep.
What do you wish people knew about Recycled Tunes, or what's the one thing that people, that you wish people understood about what you're doing?
Well, I guess one thing that people may understand, but one of them to think about, I think everybody would say that they like music. Everybody likes music,
Sure.
and it's something that everyone can appreciate. One of the things that people may not be as aware of is the benefits that come from participating in music, whether it's singing or whether it's playing an instrument. There's so many benefits that come, particularly for students at a young age or really throughout their career, that can come from playing a music instrument, including cognitive development. Their academic performance can be enhanced. It helps with stress release, particularly if there's, other issues going on in their life. It might be an outlet for them to really pour their time and energy into. Helps build their self-esteem. Helps with social skills, teamwork. I mean, there's so many benefits that come from music. I mean, many studies have been done to show the impact on development of children and young adults and teens. SAT scores that for people that have played music instruments are higher.
Oh, wow.
So these are studies that have been done in more recent years, but you can go back 2,000 years, look at quotes from Plato and Socrates, and they were highlighting the benefits of music and how important it is. So they knew it 2,000 years ago. So it's not new, but it's something that I don't think people are fully aware of or think about when it comes to music. So those are, some of the kind of hidden benefits of participating in music that I think it's important for people to understand.
Yeah, no, I started playing music at a very young age, and I've definitely seen a lot of what you're saying, especially like with the social skills and the team building. I mean, that was always big for me, was just, getting together with people and making sounds together, and I think
Yeah.
that's such a positive way to interact and to learn from each other, and so on point. I'm glad you said that. That's really a fantastic part of instruments. And I'm just glad to see music education being prioritized somewhere, because I feel like it often gets lost in the shuffle of education in general. You know.
Yeah, it's one of those things that we've heard over time that the music and arts programs are some of the first to go because they're not perceived as being as important as the core curriculum. But it's really important for folks to recognize how critical they are and how much they can enhance a student's education. It also gives kids a group to connect with. That so many times in particularly middle school and high school, it's tough to find a group to fit in, and finding the band or finding chorus can be a really great place for kids to connect with others. I was in the band as well through middle school and high school,
Right
and
on.
I played drums for all those years, and some of the people I still connect with when I go back to reunions are the people I was in band with. And
Yeah.
so those relationships can provide that connection in the moment, but they can also be connections you have for a lifetime.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if your background, if you were a musician yourself, and I guess you kind of answered that question.
Yeah, I more of a just play at the house kind of deal. I grew up playing drums during my school years. Started playing guitar in college and been playing ever since. And have a lot of fun with it and get a chance to play here and there with different folks and have a lot of fun with it. And it's been a big part of my life. Whether it's playing music or going to see live music um, concerts and other venues.
So, who are you most excited to see this year at Gasparilla Music Festival?
Couple of them. I think Sunday is going to be the day I really am going to like. Lake Street Dive is really cool.
Yeah.
Kingfish Ingram is awesome. But Saturday's got some great bands as well. One of the things that my kids were real excited about was Young the Giant, and we got a chance to kind of bond over Young the Giant. When they first came out, probably 10 years ago. And so excited that they're going to be headlining on Saturday and have them come out. One of the great things about the festival is that we try to find something for everybody. If you look at the lineup we have, we cover all the genres from hip hop to rap to DJs to pop, rock to New Orleans funk and soul, and it's blues, and so it's got a little something for everybody. But one of the things I always find, and I've been to most of the GMFs over the years, is that even if you don't know the band, you'll find some music you like and maybe introduced to a new artist that you might end up really appreciating and following. So that's one of the things I always like about the festival. Other thing I want to point out, while our lineup, is loaded with, regional and national and even international headliner and touring bands. One of the things we pride ourselves on is finding a space for the local artists. So you'll find
100%.
a lot of local artists are on our roster, and gives them a chance to be on that kind of platform for a major festival. Gives them an opportunity to add that to their resume, to show what they do to a larger crowd. So we're real proud of that, and giving those local artists that forum to express their music.
Yeah, no, a lot of great local artists on this year's festival. I mean, just going down the list, like Pusha Preem, Parrotfish,
Yep.
DJ Sandman,
Yep.
Ashley Smith and the Random Occurrence,
Yep, right.
Pet Lizard, so many great
Yep.
bands. Shelby Soul, on Sunday, Nick Ewing, big fan or
Yep.
a friend of the show,
Yep.
Nick.
Look forward to seeing this duo. Yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's very cool to see the local bands, sort of on the same platform as the national acts. I think that's great. Also, I'm personally really looking forward to Goody Mob, one of the last minute additions to the festival. Was very excited when I saw they got added. That's going to be a great addition to Saturday. Saturday is stacked for me. I don't know. I think every day is a great day of music, but there's just so much good stuff on Saturday that it's going to be it's gonna be a fun weekend. I think I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, totally agree. And I've always been exploring some of the bands I'm not familiar with. The Rumble is really cool, kind of New Orleans sound band. And another interesting combo is Eddie Roberts and the Lucky Strokes. I don't know if you know the background on that, but Eddie Roberts is in the new Master Sounds and has been in that band for a bunch of years. But his new band, the Lucky Strokes, includes two local artists, the Galbraith sisters, Taylor and Ashley Galbraith, who are his rhythm section drummer and bass player. So he's a nationally known touring guy with the new Master Sounds, and he's teamed up with the Galbraith sisters to form the Lucky Strokes, and they've been touring around, spent some time in New Orleans, the end of last year. So look forward to hearing them as well.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna add that to my list for sure. I'm all about the New Orleans vibes. So
for sure.
Definitely down for that.
If I may point out one more person, just from a local standpoint, Judy Ann Jackson is a young artist who first performed at GMF when she was 10 years old, and now she's 16 and a seasoned musician, and will be performing with her band. So we're proud that she's been with us so long and has kind of cut her teeth at GMF, and is continuing to flourish and grow as a songwriter and musician and performer. So we're happy to have her as well.
Yeah, that's a full circle moment right there.
Yeah,
amazing.
For sure.
All right, well, we're pretty much towards the end of our time here, Ted, but why don't you just let the audience know again where they can find Recycled Tunes, how they can donate, how they can get involved?
Yeah, thanks. So Recycled Tunes, you can find us online at recycledtunesflorida.com. Fill out the form if you have an instrument to donate, and just think about what you may have in your house that you're not using, or in a storage room that you're not using. Look under the bed, look in the closet, look in the back of the garage, and find those instruments that are gently used and still have a chance to be used by students. If they can be cleaned and refurbished and passed on, those are the kind of things we're looking for. We're appreciative of everyone who comes out to GMF, because your ticket to GMF supports Recycled Tunes and help us touch more kids and put instruments in the hands of more kids in our community.
Again, Gasparilla Music Festival is February 16th to 18th at Julian B. Lane Park in downtown Tampa. I will be there. Jason will be there, and of course Tad will be there. So we'll definitely have to come by the kids area and say what up, Tad.
Yep, please do. Look forward to seeing you there.
All right. Well, thanks so much for coming on the podcast. We really appreciate it. Looking forward to GMF.
Yep, likewise. Thanks, Randy. Appreciate the opportunity. Take care.